You see there's a few of you jumping on. Hopefully you can hear me. I've changed the chat to everyone, so go ahead and put, yes, ma'am, I can hear you in the chat box. Hopefully I can see that. Do some testing here. Julie, hello. Hi, Sandy. Okay, I'm gonna. And you guys, can you see my PowerPoint just like in full screen? You can't see like the side panel or anything, can you? Okay, great. Technology is so fun. Okay, great. Okay. I can see that it's trying to let people in. Usually I have my assistant on with me and she helps me, but today it's just me. Yeah, I can see that people are still coming in. I'm going to get started because I am an on time kind of gal. And I hate when people are on time, or if I'm on time and then they wait for people that are late. So that's not my jam. So time is a very important gift we have. So I want to just jump in and get started. So today we're going to talk about the sacred shift, where strategy meets soul, where we lead, live, and rise. So this is a project super dear to my heart. So I hope you guys really get some good takeaways as we jump in here. So my first request is there's a lot of distractions in life, right? Our phones, our family, all the things. So turn off your distractions because I really want to make your time here with me count. So I'm introducing how to realign your focus, reclaim your energy, and create results that last. So I'm going to ask you a few questions, and you guys feel free to agree, shout out in the chat if something resonates with you. So, do you feel ready to elevate? This is for you if you are successful on the outside, but quietly feel overwhelmed on the inside. This is for you if you feel like your time and energy are always spoken for, if you long to lead with alignment and not pressure, if you crave a softer, more powerful rhythm of life. And this is for you if you know you're meant for more, but you don't want the hustle. The opposite of hustle is living in ease and flow. And that's why you are here. You are here because this is your pause. This is your turning point. Today, this is your shift. So another question I want you to ask yourself is, do you feel a desire for impact? Is that a reason that you're here? Do you feel a desire for change? So some of you don't know me. So who am I? I'm a coach. I'm a gratitude guide. I'm an expert in mindset and growth. I'm a multi-passionate entrepreneur with over 26 years, 27 now actually, of experience helping high achievers lead with clarity, resilience, and alignment. I've built multiple businesses. I've raised 5 children. I'm married to my best friend. And my business partner and Reiki master. We had our 31-year anniversary yesterday. And I've coached countless leaders. So yes, my friends, I know firsthand what it means to carry a lot while trying to stay grounded. So today I'm going to teach something simple but transformational, how gratitude isn't just a feel-good habit, it's a leadership strategy. A few more of my passions. I love building teams. I love working with teams. I love following the flow with heart when there's a calling. My success is directly correlated to my commitment to gratitude. So one of the questions I get asked a lot is, what do you do? And that's because I do so many things. But I do so many things because I really am a believer of following the flow of the energy. If something's presented to me and it resonates with my heart and it comes with gratitude in my soul and it's something that I want to do, then I jump into it. So you'll never be happier than you are grateful. Gratitude can help you make better decisions in your life. So today we're going to dive into the pillars to help you reclaim your energy and create results that last. We're going to talk about my 1% method and the mastery code that has helped executives and teams tap into tools that rewire focus, restore energy, and reignite impact without burnout. Because what I know for sure is when we lead with gratitude and raise our vibration, everything starts to rise. Our families, our business, our personal engagement, our cultures, our trust, and performance. I know that my big, hairy, audacious goal as Jessica Devenish is to raise the vibration of the planet, one grateful heart at a time. So for years, my story is I battled thoughts that it wasn't possible to have it all. Money, a passionate marriage, happy children, and joy all at once. And what I had found, I had this burning question. How can I feel so sad and still find joy in the areas of my life that are succeeding and that are good? So I was coming frighteningly close to burnout. I went in search of these answers and tools, and these 5 pillars are the roadmap to my success. Now, you might be asking, like, what do you mean by sad? So for me, my story, 21 years ago, my brother-in-law was killed in a fatal car accident. And our life changed forever. We adopted my niece and nephew, and we became a family of 5 to a family of 7 overnight. We became the Devenish. And there was so much trauma and drama from that experience because the wife was still with us, but she was addicted to drugs and alcohol, and she chose to leave. And she asked if we would take her children. So as you can imagine, I was feeling so much sadness and grief. I was running a business. I had 3 kids of my own. Now I had 2 kids overnight. And I had so many good things going for me. And so I was really oscillating between how can I be so sad and how can I be so grateful for the things that are going well, and realizing that I could have a foot on both sides of that paradigm and feel both at the same time and not give up one for the other. So these 5 pillars have been a roadmap to my success. So this is an overview of where we're going. The pillar number 1 is repetition is mastery. Second is gratitude is the foundation. It is the ultimate strategy. Number 3, emotions are energy in motion. Number 4, you're going to leave here knowing how it is to create a life by design. You're going to have those tools. And being in vibrational alignment is pillar number 5, my favorite pillar. And then we're going to give you some free tools. And then if you're ready for more, I will show you what the mastery code is. So let's jump into pillar number 1. Repetition is mastery. Consistency is far more important than perfection. If you've ever heard imperfect action is better than perfection, that is what consistency is all about. So let's talk about neural pathways and creating conscious roadmaps. The reticular activating system is part of your brain that acts like a filter. This filter decides what information gets your attention and what gets ignored, because your brain can't process everything at once. So here's the key about the RAS, the reticular activating system. It is trained on what you focus on. So if you are constantly in problem-solving mode, you're going to find more problems. If you're intentionally practice gratitude by way of what is working, your RIS starts scanning for what's working, what's possible, and that's what starts showing up. So look at it like you're an air traffic controller and you literally have thousands of flights coming into your brain every single day, which is life, right? Our families, our business. And you are scanning to decide what comes in and what doesn't get to land. And I'm going to drive this point one little bit further so you really understand the power of your reticular activating system and how we do control neural pathways of our brain. Have you ever been on your phone and you're looking to buy maybe a garden hose? What happens? You start seeing ads for garden hoses, don't you? That is the reticular activating system of the algorithms, the shopping algorithms. Our brain does the exact same things. It says she's looking for the positive. She's looking for garden hoses. She's looking for problems, and it delivers those things. So I want that to be a huge takeaway about how our brains work. Our brain has two main functions. Our brain either keeps us alive or keeps us safe. But we're no longer cavemen. We don't need our brain to do that. So I'm going to invite you to pause, and the pause allows you to observe what's going on, but not absorb what's going on, so that your RAS filters out what you want to take in and what you can let go of. Your brain does not care if a habit is helpful. It cares if it's repeated. So I'm going to close down this chat box because I cannot see my slide very good. Your brain does not care if a habit is helpful. It cares if it's repeated. So, my friends, you're not stuck. You are just efficient at who you have been, right? So if you want to change your output, all you need to do is change your input, which is simple, but not always easy. And I recognize that. Repetition is mastery. Consistency is the magic. It's the method to unlock your potential and your aliveness. It's the method to elevate your life. And when you intentionally practice repetition, you create neural pathways, intentional neural pathways. You know, like when you drive to work every day and you don't remember like which road you took, those are like unconscious neural pathways. We want to focus on intentional ones. So let's jump into the 1% rule. Repetition proves you can make a profound shift in less than 15 minutes a day. 15 minutes is 1% of your day. Its micro habits give you macro impact. You focus on consistency over intensity. This up-levels your leadership, your life, your personal freedom. And I'm going to tell you right now, the secret is not having more time. It's about using the time you have intentionally. So I'm going to ask you, if you find yourself asking or thinking throughout the day, I need more time. What if the real question isn't more time? It's more impact with the time you already have. So here's the truth, my friends. The 1% rule. There are 1,444 minutes in a day. So 15 minutes a day, that is 1% of your day. It can change how you lead, how you think, how you show up. That is the heart of the 1% method. We do not need giant overhauls to transform our life, our attitude, or our leadership. We need micro movements, movements of alignment, intention, and emotional reset that build momentum over time. So if you've heard the 1% method, James Clear teaches us, if you get 1% better each day for a year, you'll be 37 times better by the end. So now the question becomes, what can you do in this 15 minutes a day to refuel your mindset, strengthen your culture, and lead with purpose without adding burnout? And I'm here to teach you that gratitude is the entry point. And this is how you make it stick. We're going to show you that. Focusing on success goals, not stress goals, and recognizing what is working by our RAS, our reticular activating system, deciding what comes in and what we want to push out. So why repetition? It allows you to be more decisive and intentional. Your RAS is your control tower, and repetition gets you clear on what you need more of and what you need less of. And you get that by sitting in stillness. Pillar number 2, gratitude is the ultimate foundation. It is your entry point of abundance. Gratitude is a gateway to abundance. Gratitude is the foundation. This is where your nervous system and your mindset anchor. You can never, and I'm going to repeat this twice, you can never outperform your nervous system. You can never outperform your nervous system. Your mindset is the anchor. So if you focus on gratitude, gratitude rewires your brain for positivity. It regulates your nervous system, and it's the fastest way for you to get back in alignment, because that is ultimately what our human brain, what our body, what we want here. We want alignment. We want to be centered. So what if gratitude wasn't an emotion? What if it was a strategy? It could be both. It is an action. Because what I know for sure is that life experiences deliver us mishaps and missteps and mistakes, and life just gets muddy, doesn't it? So one of my favorite quotes by Dr. Joe Dispenza is, gratitude is the ultimate state of receivership. And if you are not familiar with Joe Dispenza's work, I highly encourage you to dive in. I went to one of his retreats earlier this year in March, and it was life-changing. His meditations and his work really has made a profound impact in my life by way of gratitude. Gratitude, fundamental universal law, my friends. Like attracts like. We magnetize what we're looking for when our RAS, our control center, is where we're deciding what we're looking for. If we're buying garden hoses, if we're looking for the positive, it magnetizes more abundance. Gratitude for what we have is the gateway for more. So often we want more, but I believe through my experience that in order to get more, you have to be grateful for what you already have. Even if there's hardships and struggles, especially if there's hardships and struggles. I'm going to challenge you to think who you are. Your character is elevated by those challenges, those trials, those struggles. Your character, your grit did not come from ease and just not having to push back with any struggles or anything. I know mine hasn't. And I know most of the leaders I work with, they agree with that. Because if you can't be happy where you are, you can't get happy where you're going. So quit having destination disease. The joy of the journey is in every step. I love this quote by John Maxwell. So why gratitude? It raises the level of our limits. It identifies what's holding you back when you start looking at everything from an RAS of gratitude. And it gives you permission and information to know that we all have agency of choice every single day and every single moment, even when the most tragic things happen. And we'll talk about the thought model here in a minute, but we always have agency of choice. So let's jump into pillar number 3, emotions. Emotions are energy in motion. So how do you sit with your feelings? You notice the emotion, you name it, you accept it, you explore it, and you allow it to be what it is. Feelings are feedback, my friends. They are not facts. And here's a great statistic that if you sit in an emotion, it cannot be killed. You cannot kill an emotion, but it can be transmuted and it can be transferred. And sometimes it will take up to 90 seconds. So if you are feeling an emotion that you are not wanting to feel, if you sit in that emotion, you don't dismiss it, and you allow it to come in and work through you, you can transmute it and transfer it within 90 seconds to a different emotion. Even if it's not from sad to happy, maybe it's sad to frustrated. Maybe it's sad to scared. We're just moving up the scale one at a time. And we know there's lots of emotions to pick from. These are just a few. Do you feel judged, fear, worry, uncertainty? Are you feeling excitement, amazed, or peaceful? I mean, take your pick, right? Emotions are in abundance. We do not have a lack of emotions to choose from. So I want to talk about the thought model, because if we change our thoughts, we change our results. So let's talk about the thought model. At the very top, you have circumstances. So circumstances are life experiences. So a circumstance is something that happens outside of us. And when an experience or a circumstance happens, it leads us to a thought. And then that thought leads us to a feeling. That feeling leads us to action. and that action leads us to results. So to make this really simple, if you do not like the results that you're getting in your life, in your relationships, in your work, whatever it is, you have to circle back, you can see in this model, to your thought. Because guess what? The circumstance isn't going to change. The experience isn't going to change. And one more important thing that I want to drive through with this thought model is circumstances are neutral. Any circumstance. My brother-in-law's car accident, the circumstance itself is neutral. The circumstance definitely is tragic, but it's tragic because of the thoughts that I have about it. The circumstance itself is neutral. It has no emotions. So I need you to understand that nothing outside of us can control what happens inside of us, no matter how tragic it is. And that's the change that's what made a huge change in my life, is I cannot control the circumstances. I have zero control over the accident. I have control over what other people are doing. And that's same 24 years ago as it is today, right? But what I do have control over is my thoughts and my feelings, my actions, and the results I get from that. And if I don't like what I'm getting, I have to change my thoughts about it. This is an emotional well-being check-in. What are you consuming? What are you creating? Who are you sharing your energy with? And who has access to you? These are some very important questions, because what I know for sure, working with so many leaders and in my own life, you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. And my kids, now that they're adulting kids, they really understand this point that I tried to drive into them all through their teenage years, right? Who are you spending your time with? Like, take inventory. Are those, especially in the business world, right? Leadership world. Like, if you have an idea and you go to somebody who's never taken a risk or stepped out on the edge, do not take advice from them. You want to surround yourself and take advice from people who are doing it, who have done it, who are wanting to do it. You really want to cultivate a circle of people that are going to help you create, right? Help you share energy in the space that you want. So ask yourself, who has access to you? So why tap into your thoughts? Seek to find personal alignment that's already available to you, because we all have agency of choice, no matter the circumstance. That's why tapping into our thoughts is such an important pillar of the sacred shift. Pillar number 4, true transformation starts with you. This is about creating a life by design, not creating a life by default, because we have the power to decide what our next right step is. This is about intentional creation. So I love this quote: knowing others is wisdom, knowing the self is enlightenment. It's being aligned with your vision and your purpose and your life. So this is a great little visual interpretation of being a master creator. And oftentimes in leadership, because I work mostly with leaders, you are the eye of the storm, right? So you have a goal and you're starting and you want to achieve something. It is never linear, ever. You're starting, you're doubting, you're learning, you're failing, you're practicing, you're feeling lost, and then all of a sudden you're getting it, and then you're struggling, and then you may achieve it. Rinse and repeat, right? So I want you to see that you are the master creator and you get to follow the flow. You get to decide how your response is, no matter what the circumstance is, no matter what the experience is. This is an invitation to stay connected to your why and trusting that divine right action is always taking place. You are the master creator of what's next. And you get these answers by sitting in the stillness. And what I'm inviting you today to do is sitting in the stillness for 15 minutes a day. And if you're saying, I don't have time for that, then you need it more than ever. And that's what I learned the hard way. And when you do that, I also invite you to expect the unexpected. And what does that mean? If you remove expectation and you invite curiosity, the lens of what you see, expect the unexpected, because true success comes from aligning your actions with your soul's purpose. And you can't do that when you have all this noise going on. You get that when you are in stillness. So remove expectation, invite curiosity, and expect the unexpected, because that's when true alignment and true answers come to you. That's how they've come to me. So you are the director, the creator, and the producer of your own story. I invite you to stay open, be coachable, be open to feedback. You'll find, and if you do that, you'll find yourself in a harmonious lifestyle, ready for inspired action, ready to be the master creator of your own life. So recap, why be in alignment? Because you have more personal peace and prosperity in all areas of your life. And this is where you tap into the highest vibrational frequency, which is pillar number 5, my favorite pillar. I love this quote. When your energy vibrates at a frequency that is within direct alignment to what the universe has been attempting to deliver your entire life, you begin to live in flow and true miracles start to happen. So pillar number 5 is being in alignment with vibration of your soul. So you might be thinking, well, how does that happen? Well, I'm going to go back so you don't try to read that slide while I share this. I look at vibration and frequency as a radio station, okay? There are right now all kinds of radio stations out into the ether right now as we speak. And you get to turn the dial into 107.5 or 94.9 or 93.1, whatever you want to listen to. Just because you're not dialed into it doesn't mean it's not out into the ether, because it is. All you have to do is turn the dial. That's the same with our vibrational frequency. Nikola Tesla teaches us, if you want to know the secrets of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. And Albert Einstein, as you know, taught us that everything is energy, and that is all there is to it. If you match the frequency of your reality to the reality you want, then you cannot help but get that reality. It can be no other way. This is not philosophy, it is physics. So let's talk about this chart. This is the themes of consciousness. This is where, let me move my chat over so I can see this. So you can see at the top of this frequency chart, the themes of consciousness is enlightenment. That's the highest. The lowest is shame. And I believe that shame lives at like 20 hertz and enlightenment lives at like 700, I believe. When I think of enlightenment, I think of authenticity, personal freedom. That is where personal freedom comes in. So you can see, enlightenment, freedom, joy, love, those are where you enter the quantum, right? The threshold of trusting in the unknown and a higher power. And then we have reason, logic, acceptance, willingness, neutrality, courage. Those are in the self-empowerment, you can do attitude, positive, where you're positive and productive. Now below that, this is where suffering or maybe like the victim or your ego self, maybe you get stuck in the negative. You get in emotional patterns of lack, that lack faith and higher power. So what I mean by living above the line in my life and what I teach is courage, you can see, is right above the suffering. It's the first step into relief and self-empowerment. So when you're feeling really low and there's no way that you can go from anger to enlightenment, I invite you to just live above the line, and that invites you to live at courage. Because courage is the point where you can reach down and hold your hand and pull yourself up when you're in anger or fear or grief or even hopelessness. And courage is where you can look up and say, I know that I can get to freedom and joy. So courage is my line. That's my living above the line. Some days, if you can only be encouraged, then you are living above the line. And that just is kind of like a barometer for you to recognize that I want to live above the line. That's where I want to be. That's where I want to be 95% of the time, right? That's kind of your living above the line. So you don't have to be at the very top. You don't have to be at the very bottom. But this vibrational theme of consciousness and this vibrational scale and frequency, it helps you see where you're at. And you can also, one of the things that we teach at our retreat is, music. These are all healing modalities by way of, like hertz, right? So I think I said that enlightenment is like 700 hertz. I think love is 432, maybe 428. If you go to YouTube on your TV and you put in 432 hertz, you can play music that reverberates out through your home, and it literally can help raise the vibration of your home. I've done it. My clients have done it. So that might be a takeaway for you today to try that after this. Okay, so let's talk about agency of choice. We touched on it briefly, so I want to dive into this because unpopular opinion, no one is coming to save you. Your life is 100% your responsibility. So what does that mean? Let's talk about agency of choice. Let's talk about captivity and victim versus personal freedom. What does captivity look like? It looks like blaming. It looks like scarcity. It looks like, why me? Someone come rescue me. It looks like consuming. You're just consuming life, right? Freedom, on the other hand, personal freedom looks like responsibility. Instead of saying, why me, say, why not me? Instead of scarcity, abundance. Instead of consuming life, you're creating life. These are two different paradigms, and they all come down to choice. We all have agency of choice, regardless of our circumstances. Remember, we talked about that. The world out here doesn't have to dictate the world in here, in our personal alignment. Are we perfect at it? No. But we practice it, we listen, we trust it, we act in gratitude. And I talked about before where the stimulus is, where we pause. This is where we observe what's happening. We don't absorb what's happening. Your life and leadership superpowers are to spend 15 minutes daily in silence, reflection, or meditation to tune into that vibrational frequency that we talked about, into your intuition, and to tune into your frequency. And you also do that by surrounding yourself with people, environments, and ideas that elevate you. So why do we live above the line? To make an impact in the world around you, to tune to your highest and greatest good. And what I know to be true is oftentimes it starts with courage. So as a fun little takeaway, some of you got to this masterclass by doing this 3-minute quiz. But if you haven't done this yet, you can scan this QR code. And it's just some insight on where you are personally on the gratitude to thriving scale. And there's 4 different quadrants that you fall into. And more than likely, you're not just going to be one of the quadrants. You're going to have a percentage in each one. There's a burnout achiever, which are you driven and successful, but maybe you're feeling depleted? Are you the awakened soul where you are seeking more than just the hustle? Are you a conscious creator where you've done the work and you're ready for deeper integration? Or are you a radiant master where you're living it and you're ready to lead out what radiates within you? Because I want you to live in your highest frequency. So this quiz is a fun little 3-minute, are you aligned or are you in survival mode? Where do you stand on the gratitude to thriving scale? So if you haven't done that yet, I encourage you to do it. Because I know that sustainable success and lasting fulfillment don't come from doing more. They come from aligning who you are with how you live. Living a life by design, not default. We talked about that. The most impactful leaders I know don't just hustle harder. They know how to manage their energy. They understand the information of our emotions, and they build a life by design and lead a harmonious life rooted in clarity, purpose, and truth by using these tools. So just for being on this call today, I am going to send you the 5-5-5 framework. It's just a 1-page tool. So what does it mean to make the most out of our the 15 minutes? What do we do with the 15 minutes, right? If you spend 5 minutes resetting the mind, what thought do I want to rehearse today? What am I grateful for? What affirmation, right? And you'll get this. The second is move the emotion. Remember, emotions are energy in motion. How do I feel right now? What emotion needs space or movement? What energy to carry into my day? What do I want to take with me in my day? What do I want to leave behind? And I'm here to tell you sometimes 2 thoughts. You have to empty the bucket to put new stuff in the bucket. And sometimes you have to let go of something to make space for something new, right? So what emotion needs space or movement? What energy do I want to carry into my day? And the third of the 15 minutes is to take aligned action, inspired action, right? Because you got to have inspired action if you want to get what you want. So what's one action I can take from alignment? That's a question. What does my soul say yes to right now? And how will I embody the version I'm becoming today? So this is how I break down the 15 minutes. So you can take these tools. There's 2 ways to reclaim your life. You can take these tools and you can go on your own, and they will dramatically make a change in your life just by doing the 5-5-5 framework. I see it all the time with my clients. If you want to go deeper and you want to hold my hand through the process, then I want to master this together. So you get to work with me every day as your personal gratitude guide and mindset expert inside my mastery code, which is a 28-day self-paced course. So this is why it works. This course bridges mindset mastery and energy to create powerful shifts that last. Because when you commit to personal mastery on repeat, you gain clarity, confidence, and lasting impact. Lifelong transformation comes from small shifts that give you big results. And 15 minutes a day is a small shift. I promise you have 15 minutes a day. This is not just another course. This isn't about doing more. This is about becoming more of who you already are. The light that you already have and stepping into that personal alignment is what I'm inviting you to do. The mastery code isn't a course you finish. It's a framework you live. In less than 15 minutes a day, you get realignment, real results, and in real life. And here's the magic. You get lifetime access to the course because I am a firm believer. If you did this course in a perfect world, right? If you did this course every single day, you didn't skip a day, you could do this course 13 times in 1 year. And you're thinking, why would I want to do that? Because I promise you, the first time you do the course, you are a different person than the 10th time or the 8th time or the 13th time. Because we do not see life as it is, we see life as we are. So as you go through this process, the first time you do day 2 is way different than the 5th time you do day 2. And you will see that the more you do this. So it's not a course you finish. And you can't get behind because it's self-paced. So if you do it every day for 20 days and then you skip a couple days, like it's your course. You get to decide, like, if I want to take a break today, or you get to decide and go, people really love day 2. I think it's day 2 because you write a letter to yourself. I have people go back and do day 2 again several times. Even after like they do day 11, they're like, oh my gosh, I need to go back and write a different letter to myself. So it's your course. You get to do what you want with it. What does the course include? It includes the self-paced 28-day course designed for busy leaders ready for change, daily guidance and insights, practical strategies that fit into your schedule. You get daily inspirational coaching videos from me. You get beautiful PDF journal pages, and you get for a bonus, you get my Elevate Your Life Clearing meditation. And don't panic. If you're not a meditator, it's fine. I'm not going to make you meditate. And you have lifetime access. You get to revisit the course, like I said, up to 13 times in 1 year. So here's a picture of what one of the videos looks like. I hate seeing myself on video, these daily inspirational coaching videos. And I love the PDFs. Now, you don't have to print out the PDFs. You can write with a journal, or you can, just type it if you want to. But what I know to be very true through my experience in doing this for now years, a cathartic release happens when you move from your head to your heart out through your arm channels. Our arm channels are creative channels. They're part of our chakra system. So when you write pen to paper, or even if you type it in your Word document or whatever you work on, if you imagine that cathartic release happening and opening up the gateway, you will have profound shifts every single time. I guarantee you. So if you're ready to invest in proven strategies and take your leadership in life to the next level, your journey begins here. The minute that you decide to jump into the course, it starts right now, the moment that you say yes. So I want to share some of the testimonials that I've received from the course. From my friend Brian Pope, he says, Jessica is an effective guide in seeing how gratitude weaves through every facet of our lives. Lorraine Wright, with this beautiful journey, I've been able to shore up my practice, listen deeper to where I needed to encourage my heart to open and embrace gratitude as a way of being. These are some other texts that I've received more recently. In 20 seconds into the welcome video, I'm crying, a cathartic crying. Thank you. This course is going to change some things for me. I'm on day 3 and cannot believe how beautiful this has been for me already. Thank you. I've noticed a big difference in my energy from your course. I love it so much. And you know what's crazy? 2 years ago, I would have never said that, but I've learned so much about gratitude. I know no matter whatever we are going through, that I am learning that the more that you express gratitude and love for whatever you're going through, even if that stuff is hard, you're going to find joy through it all. And that's one thing that I know now more than ever. Oops. Christy Foster. This was a very personal experience for me. I loved hearing Jessica's voice. And you should know the first iteration of my course only had a video like every 4 days. And we had 75 people in our beta group. And the response shocked me. Everybody wanted a daily video. I did not think that would be what people wanted, but they want so that every video of every day is less than 5 minutes. Some are 1 minute and 55 seconds. No video is more than 5 minutes. Heather Hooley says it's powerful. Jessica is a beautiful person inside now, and this gratitude experience has been together, that she's put together, is amazing. I've loved the daily prompts and focus it has given me to be more mindful about myself and my beliefs. Here's another one. Day 4, between the journaling exercise from yesterday and the gratitude exercise from today, I realized that I'm consciously priming my brain for what I want it to look for. It's possible that manifesting comes down to just this, priming the brain again and again to look for new and different paths forward. Likewise, in my message to myself, the letter I told you about, I wrote that it was crucially important for me to keep opening wider my own heart. And by the way, I loved the music track in today's lesson. I also like that in this lesson, you were very directive. I always appreciate clear directions because of my distractible mind. I've also been told that people like you to tell them what to do. Just tell me what to do. And that, so that's what I do every day. So the invitation, I want you to know that you don't need to be fixed. There's nothing wrong with you. You don't need more time. You just need freedom. You need personal freedom. You need to be free. You're never behind. You're not broken, and you are not too late to say yes to the version of you that's ready to rise. So if you decide to jump into my course, I've never offered this before, but in the next 72 hours, I'm going to offer a 45-minute deep dive strategy session, which is a one-on-one virtual coaching session. That's a little over $500 value from what I normally charge with my clients. So I really wanted to just offer that because I want you to have a good experience. I want to support you. And I know with my coaches, deep dive strategy sessions help me move the needle forward. So how much is the course? Small shifts for big results. It's a $397 value, which is what I will probably start charging for it. But today it's $197. You can pay $197 one time, or you can do it in 3 payments of $65.67. You get to choose. I hope that either one of these fits into your budget. And here's what I love to offer. It's 100% money back guarantee. So what does that mean? It means that if you do all 28 days and you fill out every PDF, you show me your work, and you do not have a profound change in your life, then I will give you your money back, no questions asked. So I invite you, this is your moment, this is your life. Stop waiting for permission from somebody else. Stop playing small and grab powerful business tools to unlock your potential. So you can get started by going to, jessicadevenish.com/gratitude mastery course, or you can just click on this cute little QR code that I don't know how to make, but my wonderful assistant made that for me because she's magical. And again, in the next 72 hours, I'm offering this 45-minute deep dive strategy session. So I'm going to ask you a few questions to think through before we end this call, as you like, just to think through emotionally, mentally, spiritually, right? Are you emotionally, mentally, physically, and spiritually nourished already? Are you creating a life by design, not default? Are you growing in alignment, or are you shrinking from stress? Because burnout is a real thing. And what I know to be true is burnout doesn't just happen from overload. Burnout comes from emotional disconnection. It comes from emotional dysregulation, and it comes from being out of alignment. And I work with a lot of people who are in burnout, and I've been there before. So I recognize the difference it can make when we step into emotional intelligence. Because emotional intelligence, our EQ, is the currency of sustainable life and leadership. And gratitude is the asset that always yields compound interest. Gratitude, compound interest in our attitude, inspired action, our energy, our relationships with others and ourselves, which I think our relationship with ourselves is probably one of the most important. Because what you recognize grows. I want you to ask yourself, what seeds are you planting every day? Right? If you only have a hammer, if you only had a hammer in your toolbox, then you treat everything like a nail. So today, I hope that you learn some new tools, because if we only have a hammer, then we treat everything like a nail, and that's not what we want. We want tools. We want to tap into these pillars that can make a difference in our life. Because what I know for sure is balance is not my goal. It's never been my goal. It's never been the goal of the leaders they think it might be their goal in the beginning. Like they're looking for balance, but I don't know how to monitor balance, but I know how to monitor harmony. I know how to monitor a life by design. I know how to monitor gratitude ROI. I know what rhythm looks like and personal freedom. I know what authenticity looks like. I know what alignment looks like. And if you want to live a life of authenticity and alignment, then awareness is step number one. So guess what? Now you have the gift of self-awareness. If you just have the gift by doing the quiz, that gives you self-awareness of where you are on the gratitude to thriving scale. And it also might just tell you what you don't want. And sometimes that's the answer to knowing what we do want. Self-talk. Let's talk about self-talk, that inner dialogue, right? We nourish that inside the mastery code. I want you to become your own master creator. I want you to have small shifts with big results. And I want you to transform your leadership in life in less than 15 minutes a day. Whether you do it on your own or you let me hold my hand through the mastery code together, I hope that you decide to meet me on the inside. I hope that you decide to step in and be your own master creator. I also hope that you got some good takeaways for today. So we have a few minutes. If you guys have any questions, you want to ask me anything through the chat. I don't know if you can talk. I think you can ask questions in the chat. So if you have any questions in the chat, feel free to put in there. If not, then just know that I'm so forever grateful for your time. I kept it within 50 minutes. Look at that. I try to be very respectful of your time I'm so grateful that you chose to spend 50 minutes with me in what is probably, you're all so busy. You have so many choices in the day. So I'm so grateful. We had 84 people that registered for this masterclass. It looks like I have 62 on here. So please know that I am forever grateful, and I just appreciate your time so much. So if you don't have any questions, have a great day. Love you, Jamie. You're the best. Bye, my friends. Happy Thursday.